Hello, YouTube. Let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a brief little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View. I've been doing a lot of inner inspection of self, and I'm going to do something that I always talk about. I'm going to take responsibility for the argument that I had with my mother last week, and I'm going to take responsibility for my part in it and how I could have done better as a human as a spiritual being having a human experience. And one thing that I learned, of course, I'm entitled to my feelings. I have a lot of strong convictions, and I said what I said because I spoke because I was angry and hurt at the same time. But nevertheless, when we speak out of anger and hurt, the truth is always somewhere in the midst. But what I wanted to say is that ultimately I could have handled that situation better. Instead of me always questioning what my mother says, I should have just let her vent. Whatever she said about the other relative, I should not have asked any questions. I did not have to ask any questions. Let me put it that way. I could have just said, "Oh, okay, that's how mother feels." I did not have to object to it. Sometimes being silent and quiet is golden. So I accept responsibility for my part in that as well because I played a part and we all play a part in our storyline some way or another. Doesn't mean you did anything wrong, but we all play a part. And I played a part in that. And I have to own that. I have to take responsibility for that. Otherwise, I would not be the occult view because I'm looking at it from a spiritual and an occult aspect. There was something inside of me that was triggered, and I responded not in grace, I responded in trauma. So I have to learn sometimes everything doesn't need a response. Let people have their say. The same way I want people to let me have my say, I have to let people have their say too. I'm talking about people who, matter to me. Excuse me. I'm talking about people who matter to me, people who I may have a connection to, such as, your parents or, your friends, your lovers, whatever. Sometimes people just need to have their say. And who am I to tell someone or question why a person feels the way that they feel? So in that moment, I wasn't being true to who I say I am. And I have to call myself out on that and take responsibility for that because I could have easily avoided that conflict by simply being quiet. It did not need a response, it did not need any objection. But sometimes the Leo in me, because I'm on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, sometimes the Leo in me, excuse me for clearing my throat, my allergies bother me, but sometimes the Leo in me, sometimes, I always have to interject and object. And, you don't always have to do that. Sometimes clarity is simply just creating your own clarity and letting people have their say, you know? But I take responsibility for my part in that. I take responsibility for my part in that. And I own it. And that's really all I had to say. Thank you.